It's always nice when you can get a nice forecast like that when we head into the weekend, but also when you have some great things going on in the community. And Ken, we've got a special guest today that very excited about. I think the good weather forecast. Would you say, right?
Indeed. It's going to be great weather for an unveiling, for a ribbon cutting. We've got Pam Klyn, Executive Vice President for Whirlpool Corporation's Corporate Relations and Sustainability Group. Pam, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Jonny.
If you've driven in a certain area of St. Joe, you've found it very incredible that there is now a new 153,000 square foot technology center. It's about, oh, what do you say, Pam? We spent about $60 million on it.
Slightly more.
St. Joe Tech Center, brand new. The unveiling is today. A lot of VIPs coming into town for it. Pam, would you tell us what this is? St. Joe Tech Center.
Sure, I'd be happy to. We have a long legacy here on Upton Drive for our laundry, dishwasher, and small appliance technology center. The current facility, about 100 years old, so it's had a fantastic life, but it was time to give our employees something new. There's been some incredible innovations and patents coming out of this tech center over the years, and we've adapted and adjusted it as much as possible, but we really needed a much more functional space with a lot more natural light and something that was much better suited to how our employees work day in and day out. So incredibly excited to get started on moving them into this facility here very soon.
I mean, honestly, this is Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. This for home appliances. This is where
appliances.
This is honestly where a lot, as you mentioned, Pam, a lot of the ideas are coming about, and it's a world-class facility, and it's right in St. Joe, Michigan. So, I mean, tell us maybe for those who haven't been following this as closely, what does this investment mean, and what does it mean that it's happening here?
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. So we have about 500 employees, the majority of them technical engineers, model makers, designers, and lab technicians who work in this facility. They're designing, they're developing, they're testing our washers, our dryers, our dishwashers, and our KitchenAid small appliances. And to be able to continue to invest in those resources and in keeping talent here and honestly recruiting more talent to this area is what's really important. So this facility, the work that's been done here over, our 111-year history really is the backbone of Whirlpool Corporation. And, our first automatic washer came out of here, which it really has meant so much to this organization and helped with the longevity that we have. So again, it's all about keeping and recruiting technical talent and really continuing to support the amazing consumer solutions that come out of this facility.
Because don't feel that you need to comment on this statement, but we've seen on the social medias and we hear at the coffee chats, et cetera, that, oh, Whirlpool's doing this, Whirlpool's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Are they even going to stay here? I think this kind of puts a period on the sentence of, here, we're investing in the community.
Yeah, okay, I'm happy to answer that.
Happy to not answer that. But
No, we're not going anywhere, obviously, with this. I mean, we have 3 big technology centers here, in addition to our global headquarters, our North American headquarters, our consumer call center. I mean, we continue to have a huge footprint here. So this investment was incredibly important in order, again, to continue to grow and maintain our talent base and just show our dedication to this community.
How did you decide what the inside of the building was going to be like for engineers?
Yeah, we put a lot of work into this. So we've obviously built other buildings or renovated other buildings here over the last 20 years, and we have what we call a winning workplace. And in this case, the winning workplace looks a lot different than our other buildings, which are much more office-based, and what gets done there is very different. So it was even an evolution from the other 2 large technical centers that we had here. So we spent a lot of time about 3 and 4 years ago studying how people worked, how they moved through the current building. And then we said, all right, if we flatten that 4-story building into 2 stories, what is that work going to look like? How are we going to transfer appliances from this lab to that lab? How are we going to bring them in from the loading dock? How are engineers going to interface with product day to day? We're going to set up these team rooms, is what we call them, where there will be working and functional appliances along with maybe 8 to 10 desks. So people are literally able to work on new product next to their desk and be with their cross-functional partners within these team rooms. So there was a lot of deep work done on how can we help our employees be more efficient and effective day in and day out, and really drive the collaboration and interactions that we should have to continue to innovate and come up with these great solutions. I mean, we all learned during COVID, there's work we can do on our own, and there's work that's much better done together. And we put a lot of focus, especially coming out of COVID, on what are those intentional collaboration spaces that really drive the right level of energy and engagement with our employees.
Yeah, it's one of those spaces where, like, you think of not only how is this an investment in the community and investment in innovation, but also as you're building the building, you also have to be thinking about the future as well as how even the workspace changes, because technology continues to change. So adapting and learning about that, because this is something that is going to be around for a while. So thinking about how is this going to be helpful to us 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Yeah, I know, it's funny, Johnny. I would say that a lot, given our current building is 100 years old. I said, we don't get to do this every day. Let's think about the future. And one really important thing, these teams are part of a global structure and they interface with people all over the world every day. So we needed to make sure they had the technology to make it seem like those folks in India, those folks in Brazil, those folks in Mexico, those folks in Europe were in the room with them, and they could be just as collaborative with the folks who were halfway around the world, for example.
And Pam, you mentioned before we got on the air, this is phase one. And apparently there are 3 phases. What are the second and third phase?
Yeah, so this is phase one, and this is by far the biggest phase. The second phase will be taking our 1-story portion of our building that was opened about 28, 29 years ago. It'll be giving that a really amazing facelift, to be honest. It'll match the new facility, and the outer exterior will look quite a bit different and really upgrade it. We'll be putting upgraded conference rooms, a visitor entrance, and also meeting space for visitors to meet with our engineers and technicians, as well as upgrading our model shop. So that'll be phase 2, and that will be finished next year. Phase 3 will be tearing down the current facility and making that a parking lot. So currently our employees have to park on the west side of the road and cross traffic. When we open phase 1, even that'll get a lot better because there's parking down by that new structure, but there will still be some employees who have to park across the road. And honestly, one of my main goals with this was to get everyone on the same side of the road as the building that they're entering. So we'll be making that a parking lot.
When will the existing building structure come down? Will that be like a big explosion? Will we be able to see somebody press the button on the TNT?
I don't know if it'll be an explosion. I'm going to leave this to the experts, but I've actually had a number of people ask if we could make it a United Way fundraiser and people could donate to swing a sledgehammer. So there's a lot of excitement about seeing that blessed old building go away and turn into a parking lot.
Yeah, I'm seeing explosives, Johnny, throughout the building, and we could just implode the thing. We could have it on the air if you want.
I was thinking before you mentioned the United Way thing, I was thinking just Ken with one tiny little hammer and just we'll see you when you're done.
Am I being punished? Is that what? Pam, we're talking with Pam Klyn, Executive Vice President at Whirlpool Corporation. Pam, you've got a lot of what we call the who's who coming today. You've got the governor, Congressman Bill Huizenga, St. Joe Mayor Laura Goose, Mark Bitzer is going to be there, as well as others. What are you going to be talking about before you go out into the public there? What's the closed door with the governor and the Congress people?
Well, it's closed door, so I can't tell you.
Reveal secrets there.
Honestly, we're greatly appreciative of all these folks coming, and our discussions with the governor will be that. Thank you for the continued support of this community. Obviously, she's been here for other occasions. She was very helpful with the lead crisis in Benton Harbor. We're also going to have Mayor Mohammed with us today as well. So really just a big thank you for her continued support of this area. Same for Congressman Huizenga. He's been very supportive. We are going to have former Congressman Fred Upton here with us as well,
Nice.
given his long legacy of support. And let's face it, we're on Upton Drive, so it makes a lot of sense. So we're honored to have him here today as well.
His heritage made the first washing machine, so we can't leave him out.
Exactly. No, so we're grateful all these folks have made themselves available, and it really means a lot to our employees and to our community to have these folks come by and help us celebrate this important milestone.
Pam Klyn, thanks for joining us. Executive Vice President, Whirlpool Corporation, the person who single-handedly continued to arm wrestle anyone and everyone who would challenge her on the need for this. So thanks for making this happen, and congratulations.
Thank you both. It was a pleasure.